Hey man, real stay safe shit. You already know what the fuck going on. So before we start this, we gotta say a few words, man. RIP fucking Virgil Abloh and RIP fucking NBA Youngboy's YouTube. So yes, over the weekend, NBA Youngboy lost his entire YouTube discography, which in the world of rap, and I'm pretty sure just in general, like he was one of the most listened to artists on YouTube for several years and shit. And one of the major things that sort of came out about it was he had like an interview with DJ Academics where he basically was talking about his life and career while on house arrest. And I guess this interview dropped right, I would say, after this whole incident where his YouTube was completely deleted and scrubbed and shit. But basically he stated that he makes no money off of his YouTube account. He said that one of the major things that happen, like as you grow older and as you get bigger, and I guess while he was reflecting in jail, he realized how much he was being taken advantage of. He said that he was getting millions of views on YouTube all organically and shit. So like he basically got millions of views and was only given a tiny percent of that, while the label was making a huge amount. And it's pretty standard for most deals. Like people be talking about 360 deals, 360 that. I would argue that there's no such thing as a real like 360 deal, because they're all 360 deals. Like every single deal, including like a management deal or like a distribution deal, is kind of like the same type of thing. But a 360 deal, which is probably what NBA Youngboy has, is basically like you basically get a loan up front, and that's like the amount that you signed for, and then that amount is like how much you're gonna eventually have to pay back through royalties. And it's sort of like that for every type of deal. You got distribution deals where it's like they give you an amount and you're still paying it off with royalties. But I think the whole good part about it is you get to keep your masters. But it's like they're really just distributing it, like putting it on like different playlists or attempting to and shit. Then you get the 360 deal, which is like a combination of that. It's basically putting it on like playlists, probably getting ads for it, probably doing whatever the fuck you have to do to like make the fucking music like be seen by the world and shit. Obviously that shit costs money, but the 360 deal is what everyone calls, because it's like a loan also, and also like a main component of it. A lot of deals nowadays that are like that, you don't get to keep your masters. So I don't know, I think people were saying that he had the option to keep his masters after doing one more project with whoever the fuck he signed with, but it's just sad to see, man. And I don't know if this has anything to do with why his YouTube was deleted. Maybe it's because he's done with his contract and he doesn't want to have to like give these niggas money anymore, and he wants to start over fresh. Or maybe YouTube just deleted it. But I feel like it's just interesting timing for them to delete his fucking shit. And why would you delete his when there's like thousands of other artists that are going on doing the same fucking shit? But regardless, so he's basically saying that, I don't know, he's probably not even making, I would say like, he's probably making around 20%, because generally the industry standard is about like 80% of the money goes to the label and 20% goes to the actual artist, which is definitely a piece of shit deal. But like, think about it, this nigga probably, he was big when he was like 16, 17, so this nigga probably signed on a deal way back then, and his worth is way crazier now. But like, now you see why these niggas be going so hard, dropping project after project, doing so many shows, because they're making money. The labels are making money off of everything they do. We talked about the Summer Walker situation, where they're basically making money off her by just like, if she were to go into acting or some other type of venue for music, people are making money off of her, and just like not even having anything to do with music. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same type of situation with NBA Youngboy. So in order to even make money as an artist, you can't just rely on streams if you're fucking signed and shit. You're gonna have to tour, you're gonna have to do like features, you're gonna have to do everything. You're gonna have to try to sync your music on like different platforms like video games or movies and stuff like that. But the worst part is the label's getting a check out of all that stuff. But I feel like the craziest realization is that people be thinking these artists are way richer than they really are. And yes, they're successful, but it's like there's a giant cut of this that goes out of the label, and it's kind of like a sacrifice. But I feel like music, when these artists were coming up and stuff, like music was a lot more similar to what music was like 10 years ago, like before streaming and stuff. Like streaming was still big when the NBA Youngboy was coming up, but we're at an unprecedented time right now in music history where niggas can just fucking go on and really just start an independent wave without a label, because really the label is kind of providing you the stuff that you would already be doing with. If you had no label, you would probably be still doing stuff like getting ads, trying to get placements and stuff. Really, you're the one that's going to have to put in all the work. The label just kind of gives you funding for it, but it's really not funding you. They're just giving you debt. And if you got to be like financially literate, and like back then they be signing people, they try to sign people that don't really know like the business. Like they try to find people that are younger. They're trying to find you when you're on your come up, because then they can take advantage of you the most. You feel me? Because it's like people don't really know about debt and loans and stuff like that, especially when they're offering you money. They don't really tell you about like anything about payment and stuff unless you ask. And then when you do ask, it's like a situation where they tell you the splits are like at least like 70 to 80%. There's like levels to it. And I know like distribution deals are usually the most artist friendly, but still they're doing probably the least amount of work. You're going to be doing the most amount of work compared to something that isn't artist friendly at all, and they're going to own your music forever and own your masters forever. It's crazy. All you can really do is try to get out of it. But if they have an option that kind of fits you, an option basically like makes you stay in the deal, it's like a clause in the contract, and if you have that, then you're like totally like royally just gonna be on that forever. And a lot of these artists that we see get terrible deals, but I guess that's the reason that we see them in the first place. But I feel like music has evolved in a way now from when these people first started that you don't even need that shit. If you could just run up your streams like somehow, like really just like I would just say like be consistent with it. You know, like you're gonna start off with a couple fans, it's gonna take a couple years for sure, but it's like when you have that independent fan base, it's worth way more, because then you don't have to worry about splitting a check with nobody for anything, man. That's like the real move. It's harder, but in the end it means the best. But I don't know, I wonder if this is the real reason why NBA Youngboy, personally, I feel like the real reason why NBA Youngboy's YouTube got deleted was because he deleted it himself. I don't think it had anything to do with YouTube or anything like that, because YouTube, I don't think that that's why it seemed like in the interview too that he didn't even care, because it's like, I don't think it's in YouTube's best interest to just let this stuff go. Yeah, they delete like content and stuff, but that's like one of the biggest artists on the planet, and I feel like if they're deleting that, that's just kind of fried, because there's like at least 5 other artists that are just on the same type of street shit that they're on. So it's like probably more than that. There's like hundreds of other artists that are doing that at that level, but it's just like I feel like he deleted it himself. It had something to do with the label. He was probably like done with his contract and wanted to delete it because he has that one project that's coming out, so he's trying to start fresh, and he's probably going to get revenue from all that music. That's probably indirectly what he's saying, and that's what I bet. But hey man, real stay shit. You already know what the fuck going on. Like, comment, subscribe, go cop the clothing, you know. Stay safe shit dropping tomorrow. You already know. Peace.